Hello, hi. I wasn't sure if we are already live, so we will be starting with the training momentarily. And while Adam is getting all ready and excited about seeing so many of you in here, if you are joining us right now, introduce yourself in the comments somewhere. I don't know. I'm confused about the directions in here. And if you are seeing a woman and not Adam, well, this is Bo Urbanski, the business partner and life partner of 26
That's
years
what
or
you look
more.
like. Look, right there.
Awesome,
Hello.
awesome. Adam, you better get
I'll be
ready
back.
and take over while I am welcoming here all those who expressed interest. And it was quite overwhelming. I think that Adam decided to do this training, providing that we have 25 people who expressed interest. And lo and behold, we had, I think, about 75 people or more. I've been approving all people to join us in Fastest Path to Cash Facebook group. It's a closed Facebook group. So welcome all those who started in the group today. We'll be connecting with you, and we have some awesome people in there. And I can see some people in here. Kat, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Michelle Nago. I am, Adam usually does those Facebook Lives, so I'm a little bit at a loss in here, but welcome. We'll be starting in just a couple of minutes while Adam is joining us here. Loretta, hi Loretta, long time no talk, long time no see. Michelle Demirs, hello. And again, if you're seeing a woman, obviously it's not Adam. I'm not bald. I have some hair, and this is Bo Urbanski. So I'm super excited to see some old friends. Diane Conklin, hello. Some of our old clients and new people. Another Michelle here, Michelle Riffi, Rochelle. Welcome. If you are joining us right now, introduce yourself in the comments. We want to see where you are joining us from. Hi, Kat. And Sarah, hi Sarah, welcome. Again, introduce yourself. Let us know where you are joining us from. We have people from all over the country and some people from other continents as well. So we'll be starting with the training, how to make as a coach consultant or selling your services and know-how, how to make a cool $100,000 in as little as 30 days. 90 days. Okay, Adam is just chiming in. So I'm so glad that he's going to relieve me from his introduction because I am camera shy, so I do not like being exposed in this way, but stepping in whenever I can. And it's my pleasure right now to turn over the talking stick? Is that the right way? Talking stick to Adam. No, Adam is saying, hold on. Hey, Robert. And Loretta is saying that I'm doing great. No, thank you for all who are entertaining my short introduction while Adam is setting up his prompt monitor. And we are using this cool monitor from Robert. Affinity Cam. So if you are seeing me looking straight at you, it's because we have this cool gadget from Robert. And Robert, if you want to comment underneath, just let us know. Introduce yourself because it's a game changer.
Is this a word from the sponsor or something?
It's a word from the sponsor. So we are going to jump right into the training.
All right, I'm taking over.
You're doing fine. Thank you, Lisa, and thank you so much. Thank you for appreciating my short introduction, and I definitely will take that as a compliment. So right now I'm going to give Adam his chair back.
A very professional
I'll
switch
see you.
of an
I'm going to go
anchor
to downstairs to monitor what's going on. Love you all.
And hey, if you could organize another tea for me, it would be
There's
so
tea
awesome.
over there. You have it.
I'm already done with it.
No.
Yes.
What about this one? You done with this one?
No, I'm done with that one. All right. Welcome. Hey, Bo, do you need this?
Oh, sure.
And if you can close the door so we don't hear each other from the other room. Perfect. All right, well, this is highly professional setup, isn't it? I'm so excited you are here. Listen, welcome to, I don't even want to know what to call it, business growth acceleration call, how we generate as much as 100 grand in coaching revenue from just really one program at this point. How you can duplicate what it is that we do, how you can take your own professional expertise or expert service-based business from where it is right now to 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, and as much as $100,000 a month in revenue. Now, look, you can see a little bit. So this is definitely about what we call a profit explosion right here. You can see my professional office light right there. Let's see what else I want to tell you. It's definitely about thinking bigger. Whereas I'm always looking the other way, thinking bigger. That slide. But you know what? What I really wanted to share with you, and I appreciate you being here. This slide right behind me. Dang it! Action. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing fully to start with. I literally had this idea. I was sitting yesterday in my office and went like, I have not done webinars. I've not really shown people what it is that we do, except for bits and pieces. Why don't we actually kind of walk them through? Our clients know what we do, but kind of an audience at large is clueless. So I said, why don't we do that, right? So that's a little bit of a story behind the program. I posted it in our Fastest Path to Cash, in which you are now all participating from. And some of you might be arriving late because Bo is still catching up on letting people in. Another thing I want to share with you that everything I've done for this, so we no fancy slides, it's just essentially me. If you've been to my previous videos, you probably know this is my notes for today. I've got another page of notes, but this is largely what I'm going to go off and stick to what I promised you to cover. And all right, let's see what else I wanted to say. Oh, that we largely, this entire year has been a huge experiment for me because I wanted to do largely things the same way. Let me change my glasses so I can see better. I wanted to largely do things the same way we ask our clients to do. So why? Because I wanted to make sure that if I take all my resources away, if I take my email and my technology, if I take all of that away, just like most of our clients, they don't have huge resources. They don't have fancy technology. They don't have big email lists, right? They don't have resources to hire a bunch of people to do stuff. If we take all of that away, could they still generate results? And I'll be telling you more about it in a moment, but the first thing I wanted to do is actually, I'm going to share my screen in a moment. Hopefully I can orchestrate this, all right? So again, just bear with me here because this was, there are a lot of cool things I want to share with you. And, oh, dang it. Let's just see. Let's just see. You know what? I had this entire slide. I made one slide to share with you, and that slide did not pan out. Dang it. And I can't show it to you live because it's got names of all our clients. Maybe I'll come back to it towards the end. I don't want to do this right now, but I want to take a screenshot of our overall report. And Bo, I don't know if you can do that in what is it called? Sketch or whatever, and just fade out the names of the clients, just leave the revenue and leave their average return on investment columns. And if you can Facebook message me that to my computer. Then again, I thought I saved it. It's the only slide I really wanted to show you for this entire thing. And totally massive failure. I don't have it ready. Bummer. All right. Well, it is what it is. We have to do without it. But what I wanted to show you is that kind of a quick genesis about mid-2016 and mid-2016, we were patsing along running a seven-figure business, essentially having a person and a half do some sales for us, doing webinars to generate leads. The famous two-step funnel to build your multi-million-dollar business. And we were chumming along just fine. There was only one problem. I started losing sleep at night, and I was thinking, why is it? And I realized that I started losing sleep at night because traditionally I always created fantastic results for my clients. It's always one thing I was proud of and kind of like a staple of our business. And I realized that we had fewer success stories, smaller success stories, and too far in between. And on the top of that, this was now 16 years in business. I had thousands of hours of intellectual property, and every year we had the same problem. How do we launch all of this to our audience? And I wanted to share this with you. This is fundamentally important to where you might be, especially if you've been in business for a little bit longer than just starting yesterday. and you have a lot to offer. You're very talented. You can, we had courses on this. I mean, essentially, we had courses on everything you can possibly imagine in business. And three things happened. Number one, we became overwhelmed. Because of that, our audience became overwhelmed. Number two, we became focused on how do we sell our shit instead of focusing our audience. As a result, we were perpetually busy, frustrated, overwhelmed. Just, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun, and the results were shown for our clients mainly by lack of results. And then I had this eureka moment. I said, why did I start this company in the first place? Why am I in this business? And I am in this business because I'm committed to transforming the lives of entrepreneurs. That is the underlying mission of what I do. I transform the life of entrepreneurs. I educate entrepreneurs how to think differently, and because of that, eradicate entrepreneurial failure. And I ask myself this one question: if I were to really commit to that one thing, get people the results that they come to me for, what would that look like? By the way, full disclaimer, there will most likely be cussing on this webinar. I cuss occasionally. For those who know me, probably know, I'm not as bad as a sailor, but I like to let an F-bomb fly now and then. So I apologize in advance. I'll likely get pretty excited, and I'll likely let a few F-bombs, let them rip. So just apologize. So I said, you know what? Here's a eureka moment. If I completely devote myself to my client's success, what would it look like? And we realized one thing. There's one biggest problem in the market right now. And that is, we're in a transformational, in a value economy, not in an information economy. And every single marketer, every single info marketing company is selling courses and cramming more info down people's throat. And since when more info became a solution for info overwhelm? So we came up with this novel idea: implementation is fundamental, information is supplemental. And we said, my commitment is to getting clients results. And we came up with a model, with a structure, with a plan, essentially scraping 99.9% of our entire business, all information, all the products. We threw it out the window, and I said, I'm not committed to my products. I'm committed to my clients. It made all the difference. So I'll probably tell you a little bit about it in a moment. So look, let's talk about what I want to share with you today, right? What's this all about? What did I promise you? So number one, we're going to talk about, the myths, the good, the ugly, how to take your business from where it is to 25K and as much as 100K a month. I'm going to show you the myths behind slow growth and a fast growth and what it takes to generate revenue fast. I'll show you again kind of the genesis and the process that we did. Full disclosure, an average person will likely not generate 800K replicating my in 1 year selling the same thing that we're doing. They will most likely cap out somewhere at around $500,000, $600,000. 8+ is extreme. I work probably a little bit harder than most people, but that is a one-person business with an assistant. All right, that is what I want you to know. You can generate this much without advertising, without spending money on shit, without funnels, without complex technology. I know it's a big promise. And will everybody make it? Hell no. I can tell you that up front. I'm going to go through some disclosures in a moment. So we're going to talk about this. I'm going to show you what's the right path for you, depending on where you are at in a moment. And I'll tell you how to structure your offers so they're congruent with what is your unique zone of genius, so you can charge for them a lot of money. And then we'll talk about generating leads and converting those leads elegantly without pressuring, without resorting to guilting people and manipulating them into amazing ideal clients. So if you like that idea, what I would love to do is if you just gave me some yes, like, yes, this is what I came here for. While you're at it, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to respond with a number, and the number will be 1, 2, or 3. All right? 1, 2, or 3. Done yet. I'll tell you what to respond in a moment. So here's the thing. Right now, you are in one of 3 places. This training is ideal if you're in one of those 3 places. If you're not, you may want to leave immediately. I won't be mad at you, and hopefully we'll love each other even more because I want to save you time. If it's not for you, don't watch this crap. All right. By the way, if you don't enjoy my shenanigans, my sense of humor, my looks, my glasses, my goatee, my shirt, whatever, leave. Look, doesn't make you wrong, doesn't make you wrong. Just if we energetically don't jive, not a big deal. All right. So I always want to put that up front. Let's see. So number one is you are already a consultant or a coach, and you are already selling your services, right? Maybe it's at high levels, maybe it's at low levels, but you already have decent level of success, some traction, and you want to accelerate this. So if that's it, I'll ask you to type. Don't type in yet. I'll show you in a moment. All right. You'll be number one. Perfect. Evernote sketch. Yeah, don't give me Evernote. I don't know how to find it, Bo. Just save it to your desktop and Facebook me in a Facebook message. Then I can just pull it out and show it quickly. All right. That's what I would like. All right. So second person that will benefit from this a lot is someone who already has an existing business but is currently not offering coaching or consulting, but considers that it might be a way to add additional value to their market and also additional revenue to their business and a lot of enjoyment to what they do. So that would be number two. And then number three would be if you are not in one of those two categories, if you maybe even don't have a business yet, you want to get into coaching or consulting or just got started, just got trained, but at this very moment, you're not selling it yet. You haven't picked your market and so on and so on. All right. So again, one, you're already an expert doing great. Two, you have a business, want to transition into an expertise-based business like coaching and consulting. And three, you none of those two, you're just getting started. You're entrepreneurial and going like, hey, this coaching thing, this business consulting thing sounds great. Let's get going. All right. So type in 1, 2, or 3 so I have an idea where you are at. All right. Now, while you are doing this, all right. While you are doing this, I want to tell you, so we talked about what's in it for you. Now, here is why I encourage you to watch this entire webinar. I'm supposed to do a stick strategy, like some dangle a carrot to hook you to the very, very end. So here's my stick strategy for you. If growing your business is important, and if you're finding this information valuable, and if you consider working with a mentor to maybe help you accelerate what it is that you are doing, stay with me to the very end. I promise you, you're going to learn from content and context tremendously, and it's going to help you in your business. If you're not interested in growing your business using selling high-end offers as a method, if you're not interested in exploring potentially having a mentor support you with growing your business, then I recommend you leave immediately. All right? Or leave at any point you feel done. Fair enough? Fair enough. As I warned you in one of my messages, I will be talking about Revenue Rev Up Intensive Business Growth Acceleration Game. This is the program that really has helped us create tremendous results for clients. And this is something that I want to share with you because I think it can help you. Again, our average results, I just took the screenshot before I got on this call and I screwed it up. I don't know where I saved it. Our average person generates about $37,000 in additional revenue in 90 days. It's an average client, and an average client generates what was it, like 600% return on their investment in the program with us. All right, I just took 2 columns. We track our numbers for over 100 clients since we started the game, and those are average numbers. And as you will see, when Bo does it, if I can show it to you, we blocked some things, but you will see that some people generate tremendous results. We had some zeros. Will everybody succeed? Absolutely not. We have some zeros. We have some failures. I'll talk about it in a moment. All right. So I did my stick strategy. I talk about who it's for. So quick disclaimer. This is not get rich quick doing nothing. Actually, I would say this. This is make money fast training. I'm not afraid to say that. It is training how to make money fast. It is not a training how to make money easy. In fact, you will work your ass off to make it happen. But here's the funny thing. You work your ass off in your business one way or the other. So wouldn't it make sense to actually work your ass off, work hard? Awesome. I think I have that slide, so we'll check in a moment. Wouldn't it be awesome if you actually work hard, working on strategies that have higher potential of getting you the results that you want to create? That would be pretty awesome, right? So it's not make money easy, but it is make money fast. Will everybody get the results that I'm talking about in here? Absolutely freaking not. I just, for all my friends in all alphabet agencies, I want to make this disclaimer. I work hard, my clients work hard. And here's the thing. I don't know you from Adam. I can't tell what kind of results you can create. In fact, let me actually do another thing. I'm supposed to tell you right now that on this training, over the next 75 minutes, you will learn everything you need to do to build a highly successful coaching business and make millions of dollars. And I call bullshit on this. I won't make this promise. I won't insult your intelligence for 3 reasons. Number one, if it were as easy to educate you on how to create successful business as I possibly could in 90 minutes, everybody would be rich and famous. It's not. Number two, if I gave you the illusion that I'm going to give you everything, I would just hurt you. I would just get you excited and you think, okay, I got everything that I need. Let me go and do this. And that's not true. And number three, I have no idea where you are at. And until I know your starting point, I can't really tell you what are the things specifically that you need to accelerate your business. And maybe they may be vastly different or at least varied from what I'll be sharing in here. So I wanted to, again, use that disclaimer, all right? Now, first things first, while I'm on the disclaimers, let's talk about the elephant in the room. So the other day, actually yesterday, on my post, someone, and I just forget the name, but someone says, hey, show me your tax returns. You're making big claims. Show me your tax returns. So I'm going to do something different. I won't show you my tax returns because I actually have 3 branches in my business. Number one, I do this particular thing I'm about to tell you, the revenue rev game. That's one part of my business. Number two, we do some higher end coaching actually with graduate clients. So that's another revenue source. And number three, under the marketing mentors umbrella, I should say under this business. And number three, we actually do consulting with high-end companies. High-end meaning they generate $5 million a year plus, and they're actually multi-time employees. Usually they're professional firms, manufacturing type businesses, very different from a coaching industry. So anyway, aside from that, let me tell you this. Let's see what we got here. So we've got a bunch of ones, a number of twos, a handful of threes, a couple of 2.5s. Love it. You are my ideal audience. If you ones, perfect, because what I'm sharing is actually most applicable to you if you're already an existing business. And all right, let me stop that. So look, I live a very modest life. I have an average house. I drive a pretty fancy vehicle, not a Ferrari. I don't have a desire for one. I believe that $60,000 invested in a 10-year span can become about $120,000 plus and an annualized 10% return. An average person goes and blows money on stupid shit like $60,000 car, which by the way might cost more than this, doesn't matter. And in 10 years, they have shit for their money. Not even a car to show for. Now it's a piece of junk. So I'm a true believer in thinking differently. And rather than boasting about the results, I will tell you this year, we're about to double our business plus, and we'll be spending 7 months out of this year traveling. So that gives you an idea. We go, some of them are a little cheaper places like South America, but we also go into Asia, and we're spending about 4 or 5 months in Europe, which isn't necessarily cheaper than living in the United States. Plus, we're still maintaining our household here in the United States. So we're just going to go off and travel, not taking time off. I'm still doing my business. We're just doing it remotely. So, all right. Man, this is taking me longer than I thought. All right, let me see if I can get this message from Bo. All right, so just give me 1 sec. I want to show you that one slide because I think it's going to play nicely into what I'm going to talk to you next. All right, let's see. Da-da-da-da-da. All right, let's see if I can save this. Save image as and desktop and see if I can open this. I know this is highly professional. Don't try this at home, okay? All right. Bo, this is such a low quality, I can't use it. Dang it. Look, I'll show you anyway what I'm seeing on my screen, but you'll see that's not. So I don't know how your screen captured this, Bo. Anyway, I'm going to move off this. Let me just show you this really quick. I want you to see what I wanted you to show, to see. So you see, this is the image. Hang on. Show Google Chrome, show preview. So you see, I have this image enlarged, but it's the numbers are too blurry. The image is too low of a quality. You can kind of see it's like 37 grand. I know it's 37 grand, but you can't see it. So, all right. I'm going to move off it. All right. Now, if I can just stop showing my screen, that would be tremendously awesome. Hang on. Dang it. All right. So I think I just stopped showing the screen. You know what? I will not. Actually, you know what? I will show my screen one more time because Google Chrome. Perfect. So look. Let me close this. In terms of results, I can tell you this. I'm spending time on this because I made a big promise. All right. I made a big claim. So I want to make sure that we can talk about this claim. All right. There we go. About 10%, 15% of our graduates, about 15% of our clients generate six figures plus in 90 days and then continue growing from that point on. About 75% of our graduates generate between 30 and 50, 60, 75,000 type thing. And about 10%, maybe 12%, so somewhere in there, generate zero or less than 30,000. Less than 30,000 in results. This is in 90 days while they're in their game with us, so to speak. All right, so now that I got this, a few things. Here's Ron Reich, one of my favorite super geniuses. We recorded a conversation with Ron. It's on my website, 103,000. Ron came to us. He had, I think, 2 clients making about, I don't know, 6, 8 grand a month. So by the time we finished, he was making about 30 some. By the time the year was done, his first year really fully in his consulting business, he finished just under, I think, $500,000. So on average, about 45 grand a month. Here is someone else. 6 weeks, $123,000. No list, no product, no big name. You probably never heard of this guy. Here is, who is this? This is Megan. Megan Huber. Megan might be actually watching this. Megan started her brand new business, or restarted her consulting practice from scratch last January, made about 175 grand in 4 months, finished the year somewhere around 400,000, I think, as well. So again, somewhere around 40 grand average a month. Here is Molly Mahoney. Many of you know Molly. Again, Molly did about 120 in 90 days. And yes, I'm featuring the 10% most successful. I'm going to show you some not so successful in a moment. Again, many of you know Molly, so I won't be spending much more time here. Let's see, I've got a couple more here. Stacy, I forgot what was Stacy's number. Stacy Hartman. I think Stacy brought in somewhere around 110, 120. An existing coach just ramping up her business. Here is one from Marshall Smith. Now, Marshall, funny guy. Started the business really, I forget when he was playing the game, but he did somewhere around 120 grand as well in about 10 weeks, a little bit over 120, 100 grand, something like this, in 10 weeks. No big name. He was never a coach before our first call. He became a coach on our first call that we had together. Had no list, had no name, had no packages, and pretty much started selling, high-end packages right away. I have not gotten an update where he is month to date, but I think he continues doing pretty well. So let's see a couple other things here. Let's see. All right, many of you know Nancy Jutton, also a grad. Nancy booked 85. Actually, she did Final Muffin. Ended up being about $107,000 in 90 days. Katie, you probably on the call. Katie is from UK and they run a jiu-jitsu dojo with her husband. So they sold some really interesting packages. They brought in, said they 10x their investment in, let's see, where is it? They 10x their investment in the 12 weeks. 10 times the investment back. And one last thing here again, I showed you Mark. Is there anybody else in here? All right, that's it for now. I'm gonna stop showing my screen and let's continue with the actual goodies here. So now if I can just, okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. Look, elephant in the room. Lots of promises. Can you make money fast? So I want you to realize what's needed to accelerate your revenue. There are two fallacies that are being perpetuated upon all of us, and we all buy into them. And I need to address them because this mindset part is hugely important. Fallacy number one is shaming the get rich quick. Now, I don't mind get rich quick. What I do mind is the get rich easy. Sit on the couch, do nothing, money will roll in. Now, let me just tell you a couple of stories that you probably remember them, but you never thought of them. I want you to think about a guy named Gary Dahl. Look, this is my notes right here. I've got it in my notes. Gary Dahl. You probably don't know the name Gary Dahl. Gary Dahl created this thing called Pet Rock. Pet Rock. Remember that? This was in 1975. Now, what you probably don't know that in today's money, his little Pet Rock idea made him about $27 million in 6 months. In 6 months. So if you tell me get rich quick is bullshit, I'll tell you bullshit. You stuck in your head thinking of retail. I had retail businesses before. I owned restaurants. It took months to find the location. It took months to secure funds. It was expensive to build it out. It was months to train employees to do the build out. And then it was months to recover the investment. In expert build world, not so much. If you sell ideas, expertise, transformation, you can make money like this, but you're going to have to work a little bit to do this. So here's another idea. Alex Tew, I think was his name. You probably don't know who that is. In 2005, I know you've heard of this guy, you just never knew this. In 2005, this guy got this brilliant idea of selling million pixels on his website for $1 each. And he had a great sob story of how he wanted to put himself through college, to graduate school. So he came up and said, I've got this website, it's got million pixels. I'll sell you one pixel for $1. You can buy one or you can buy a million of them. Check this out. In 1 year, he got, publicity was great. Companies were publicizing that they're putting, supporting a kid through going through college by buying a pixel on his advertising website. It was more of a gimmick than anything else. He made $1 million. He sold out his pixels within 1 year. What did he really sell? Nothing. He sold nothing except for an idea. Did he make, so $1 million a year? That's about $80-some thousand a month on average, right? There you go. Can you make money quickly? Here's one last thing. Some of you may not remember this thing called Freedom Blanket. Freedom Blanket, also known as Slinket, also known as Snuggie. Now, Snuggie has sold, dang it, I didn't write down a number, but I think Snuggie has sold something like, in about a year and a half, where it was like really crazy, something around $200 million. Now, here's what you don't know, and here's what's relevant to our conversation today. Snuggie was trying to be sold 3 or 4 times before, under Freedom Blanket, under Slinket, and never worked. So eventually, clever marketers came to the table and number one, readjusted the name. Number two, readjusted the pricing. And number three, readjusted advertising vehicles. And boom, it took off like wildfire, started making $20-25 million a month in order. Nuts. I mean, today it's a pop culture phenomenon. So if you tell me making money quickly is not possible, I call bullshit on this. What's not possible is sitting on your hands thinking, oh my God, it's going to come to me. If I'm just a good person, I'm going to make money. No, you won't. You just get run over. All right. That's just that simple. All right. I got all of this out of the way. Let's talk about, some of you are brand new to Adam's world. So I've been at it for 18 years as a coach and consultant, 25 years as an entrepreneur. My first decade, I built a restaurant business from scratch to 7 figures. Again, really from no speaking English, being a high school graduate. By the way, no speaking English did not change, as you can tell. Let's see. Somebody's entertained here. I'm getting lots of smiling faces flying here. In 10 years, I started with $194, came to the United States. I literally had $194, suitcase, shoes with holes in them, in a hotel paid for 10 days. I mean, some of you that know Eastern European reality in the late 1980s can probably attest to what it must have been like coming from, little Poland to the big America. It's like, whoa, all right? Sold my restaurant in 2000, ended up losing everything that I've made. I thought I was retired at 29, made millions of dollars, year and a half. I was more broke than ever before. Ended up recovering it all quickly through selling high-end offers, paid off my debt, became a success once again. And then again in 2000, and continued doing really, really well. In 2016, I had this existential crisis at mid-40s and said, you know what, I can't do this. If I continue making great money, I've got to make sure that the rising tide lifts all the boats. And here we go today. So my big story. There's more to me, but you got it. My wife, Bo, who you saw opening for me because I was changing shirts, she's been with me for 26 years this April 25th, 28, considering our dating. We have a fascinating story how we met. We've got 2 beautiful daughters, which I told my current wife 10 minutes after I met her that we're going to have 2 beautiful daughters. We do. They're amazing. And they're kind of trying to do their own entrepreneurial thing on their own. And, it's amazing to watch them. They're 22 and 24, kind of almost 23 and 25. Just amazing. I'm just, really in that department, somebody credited me way more than I deserve. So I hope that no one comes back calling in that extra credit in the wife and kids department because I got lucky. So, all right. Why coaching really quick also? So what you may not know, by the way, this call is really great for you if you are in the services offering business services to other people. All right. There's an article in Forbes that I just read a while back that there is a rise of one-person businesses that are making $1 million plus. I can link it into this video afterwards. And there are just thousands and thousands of companies that one person is making $1 million, $2.5, $5 million. One person with a few assistants or an outsourcers. Crazy stuff. Would not be thinkable, just a few years ago, a decade ago. Second thing, Forbes says that about 50% of all of us in about 2 years by 2020 will be freelancers. Jobs as we know it are disappearing. And I consider this advancements in communication, advancements in transportation, advancements in medical care are massively disrupting people's lives, and people can't find themselves. That's why there is a huge and rising demand for people in the coaching and consulting industries. In fact, Forbes says that in the year 2018, consulting/coaching industry will exceed nearly $200 billion. Let's be with a billion. That's a huge number. I'm telling you this because if you're kind of thinking, well, there is not enough money in there. There's this Adam selling already, and there's other guys selling. The pie is taken. Believe me, there is so much business out there that it doesn't matter how much of it I take, how much of it you take. We can't possibly eat enough. It's like all you can eat buffet that never ends. So if you believe you can't get clients because they're not there, that's not true. You can't get clients because you haven't figured out how to do it the right way. Perfect. All right. So we got the elephant in the room, the grow slow. Second thing that we're being taught is the know, like, and trust bullshit. So we talked about get rich quick. Let's talk about the second piece of mindset, know, like, trust, because that's another thing people think, well, I've got to be in business for a while and people have to know me and I've got to have a fancy website and I've got to do, I've got to pay my dues. Total BS. Look, you can start your business today and have your first high-end client today if you so decide, if you follow what I'm about to dive into right now. All right. So case in point that I always like to share it, if you get to the age that some of us are in, and you go to a certain doctor that needs to perform certain exams that aren't that pleasurable. You show up, and look, you don't know the person from Adam. You just showed up. You don't like the way they look. You don't like the way they talk. You don't like them at all. All right? So you didn't know them before you entered into the room. Now that you see them, you don't like them that much. And yet they tell you to do certain things, strip naked and bend over. And you go like, okay, doc, there we go. And by the way, here's my payment, whether it's insurance or cash or whatever. So what happened to the no, like, and trust? Gone. It's very situational, all right? If you are starving in the desert, didn't have water for 3.5 days, you're about to die, and a shaggy looking person shows up with a bottle of water, you're going to go like, we just met, and you want how much? You want my entire, livelihood for that bottle of water? It seems expensive to me. I don't know. Maybe I should check your competition. Do you have degree in water providing? Have you provided water to anybody else? You would say like, what the fuck? How fast can I get to this water? What do you want? My entire savings, everything. Here we go. Here's my note on paper. I owe you everything. Let me have a drip of water so I can survive. What happened to the no, like, and trust? It doesn't exist. It's a myth perpetuated by people who have the need for their very own business survival for us to hang around forever and ever and ever and ever. Traditionally, that usually meant like networking situations where you just needed to show up over and over, and they would tell you, well, you have to show up for a year, people get to know you, and then maybe they trust you, and then maybe they'll do business with you. Stop this madness. Everything that I do from the comfort of my office, right this very chair, or Starbucks, or I go to a library. As long as I have my phone, and most of the time, I don't even need a phone. I just need my computer with internet access. We're good to go. That's exactly what I'm covering next. All right. So, let's talk about what do you need to make money. There are only 3 things you need to make money. Let's see. Any questions here? Any questions here? Marcia is entertained. All right, I'm getting some laughter here. If you've got specific requests, make them, and maybe Bo can alert me. Oh, Jim Palmer is here, the Dream Business Coach. The Dream Business Coach is dialed in. Love it. So appreciative of you guys. Look, 3 things you need to make money. And those are only 3 things you need to make money, and you likely already have all 3 of them in place. Number 1 is you need an audience or access to an audience that has a recognized problem. They have a pain that they want to make go away. They have a dream that they want to make come true. All right. Usually a combination. Lisa says, what niches are generating the greatest revenue? Lisa, wrong question. I'll come back to that. Good question, but wrong question. All right. Because there are niches that are visible. Like I'm visible. I'm selling marketing, training. I'm visible. But there are people that sell what you sell. They're not visible to you, and they're making millions. All right? Look, in every town, there are at least 2 dentists. One of them is so broke, he's about to go out of business. And the other one makes so much money, they can't count it fast enough. They don't even count it anymore. Just stuff it in bags and throw it in the basement and go like, who cares? We just made a bunch of money. Like, we make so much, we don't even care how much we make anymore. Right? Because one has no idea how to create value in the marketplace and just thinks, well, how do I sell myself as a dentist? And the other one thinks, how do I provide value in the marketplace? All right. Do you have to coach other coaches to get high ROI? Great question. You know what? Let me get it right up front. I don't think you do. However, many people that I work with actually work with other business professionals like consultants or coaches. Why? I just told you. By the time 2020 rolls around, 50% of American population, adults that are employed, will be freelancers, self-employed, aka small businesses, most of them providing service or expertise-based businesses. AKA, there will be expertpreneurs, consultants, and coaches. That is just a crazy growing market that needs help. Why wouldn't you sell to them? Do you have to? No, it's just an excellent market. All right. So, all right. Geez, where was I? I completely got lost. All right. So number 1, you need an audience that has an issue. Number 2, this is really important. You need a solution to the problem. By the way, I didn't say you need to become the solution to the problem. You need to think of or find a way to deliver a solution. You know, I often do an exercise in my live trainings that has to do about sales. And I can tell you that 99% of my audience fails this exercise because they don't realize that they can sell stuff they don't do. We are so blindfolded. They're like, well, here's what I know, so this is it. Well, do you know someone that does something else that your audience needs? Sell that, make an override. It's so you can do it with professional services. It's not rocket science. All right. So number two, you need to find a solution to the problem that your audience wants to solve. And number three, this is where money is really made, is providing a corridor, a connector mechanism, a bridge between an audience with a problem and a solution to that problem. You need a toll booth. So ideally, you position yourself as that toll booth. Now look, here's a problem. As professionals, it's a blessing and a curse. A blessing because the fastest path to cash is to find an audience. We professionals become the solution, and we also know how to bridge the gap, how to connect the two. So boom, you can show up tonight and say, look, I know how to make money. I'm going to sell what I do. Here I am, buy me, quote unquote, my skills, my expertise, and we're good to go. All right? The danger is that up until a certain level it works. Beyond certain level, usually it's somewhere around $500,000 or so, it becomes too complex for you to run it on your own. You need to start bringing other people, and you need to start thinking, okay, so I was the product. Can I make myself not a product? So for example, again, I'm going to give you my specific situation. In our Revenue Rev Up Intensive game, I was the coach for the last year, 15 months, all right? Right now, I'm coaching the last 2 games. I'm coaching one more game. And from this point on, we're bringing other people to coach the games. Why? Because the games are successful not because of me. The games are successful because of the formula that we figured out. That's it. So I don't need to be the person delivering anymore. I don't need to be the product anymore. All right? So that's the blessing and the curse. The blessing is fastest path to cash. You want to sell yourself. We'll talk about creating offers in a moment. All right? So let's actually dive into. So, somebody write this down. Make a note. All right, 3 things you need: a marketplace, an offer, and a bridge to close the 3, to connect the 2. That's it. So what you really need is an audience. What you really need is a way to sell. And the offer does not have to be you. It can be someone else's stuff that you just decide to sell. Heck, if you know how to close really well, elegantly, without manipulating people, you may be selling my stuff. Right? We pay very generous commissions. I'm not inviting you, right? Not like overtly expressly, but there are a lot of people that do this. You could certainly be selling for other people. And they'll most likely give you an audience, and they'll most likely give you a product to sell. All you got to do is just show up and sell. You can often make as much as 6 figures a year working 1 or 2 or 3 days a week. And you've got none of the worries of other people's business that have to worry about it. All right. So perfect. So I've got, thanks, Deanne, Joy, appreciate this. So we got marketplace, offer, and a bridge. All right. We got this. Let's talk about an offer. Then we're going to talk about how to generate leads without Facebook, without advertising. This is going to be valuable. And then we're going to talk about closing sales. All right. So I asked earlier, where are you in your business, right? Are you 1, 2, or 3? So are you an expert? Are you a business owner wanting to become an expert? Or are you just completely getting started? So most of you are 1s and 2s. Now, I truly believe that the biggest mistake people make, or biggest mistakes people make, are in one of these 3 categories. Number 1, they try to sell information before they proved transformation. They try to sell information before they proved transformation. Meaning, look, how can you sell a course that actually really truly helps people if you have not validated all the steps of that course, if you've not flashed out all the variables, working with people either one-on-one or in groups. All right? So that's the biggest mistake, number one. They try to sell information before they proved transformation. Number two, they try to accelerate before they validate. Accelerate before they validate. So what do I mean by this? I want you to think in, I'm dating myself, but I started first driving cars that had carburetors. Now, some of you probably don't remember this, when you had a car and if you gave it too much gas, it actually sputtered and stopped. Why? It was called you flooded the engine. You flooded the spark plugs and the engine would stop. You gave it too much fuel for what it was capable to combust, to actually create a movement in a car. All right? Same thing happens in coaching businesses. You need to validate that things work. So you actually need to start working with people one-on-one, then work with people in groups, leverage yourself into groups, and only then scale to leveraged and scalable advertising methods and sales methods. So look, today, again, the hoax that have been perpetuated upon us. Funnels, lunch, I want a lunch. Well, great, I know that you want a lunch. You realize that an average lunch that makes $1 million ends up creating about $50,000 in actual profits. And it takes about 6 months to execute. All right? Those are average numbers, and if you talk to people who are experts in lunches, they'll tell you that's about it. $1.5 million in revenue. All right? Wait, we just had a 7-figure lunch. We have a team of 20 people. It took us 6 months. We worked on it. Man, it's so hard. At the end of the day, what they don't tell you is that $50,000 or so left in cash in the bank after all of that time. And by the way, and they've invested shitload of money up front to execute this. If you don't have that money, you're screwed. By the way, what are you launching? Do you even know that your shit works? Do you even know exactly who your audience is? What are the pain points? What's the language they use? That's why you need to start having conversations one-on-one. I'm going to talk about it in just a moment. Second thing that's perpetuated on us, again, leverage method. Funnels and webinars. Look, they're fantastic things, but they're accelerators. And I've tried to accelerate people from nothing to webinars. It's the hardest thing ever. Because again, they don't know if their offer actually sells. They don't know what price points. They don't know the pain points. They don't know exactly the audience, the language. They don't have a marketing message, and yet they try to accelerate before don't accelerate before you validate. Do things one-on-one, then leverage into groups, and then leverage and scale your marketing and your sales methodology. I'm going to talk about it in just a moment here, all right? The third hoax that we get ourselves into is this, easy money. I don't want to, can I have a business that I don't have to talk to people? Look, I'm going to tell you, if you fall into this gap, if you want to have a hands-off business, unless you've had other entrepreneurial experience, unless you really understand human psychology, marketing, you have that expertise from your prior successes, you can pull this off. If not, your job is to spend the next 90 days to 6 months, 80% of the time you should be talking to your customers or potential customers. And you should be recording it and scripting notes like, what do they want? What are the fears? What are the desires? What do they think of? What do they stand for? What are they passionate about? What are they passionate for? What are they passionate against? How does that overlap with what I stand for, what I'm passionate, what I'm against? When I talk about what it is that I want to sell them, how do they talk about it? What language do they use? What words do they use? What formats are they looking for in terms of how would they prefer to receive the help that I want to provide them? Do they want to come to a one-day intensive? Do they want to take an online course? Do they want to work with Coach 101? Do they want to travel? Your job is to talk to people. And if you're not talking to 100 people in the first 100 days of your business, you're not doing your homework. And then people wonder 10 years into their business why they're still failing. And I go back, and some people in 10 years, they still haven't talked to 100 prospects. They're so afraid of being rejected. They're so afraid of told, I don't want to do business with you. They're so deathly afraid of this that they don't put the fundamental step in place. Look, this isn't rocket science. I'm not telling you anything that you cannot do. Is there some strategies and methodologies to it that would teach people things like blank page pitch or drunken interview that allows you to gather this information from your audience and at the same time generate revenue? Absolutely. But you just need to start doing this. It's just that simple. Even if you're successful, and by the way, if you right now are stuck somewhere around $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, I can guarantee you that your business will accelerate if you just get on the phone with another 10 to 25 people and ask them the right questions and flash out your unique marketing message based on what they tell you, not what you think they should be thinking or buying. Big difference. Now, let's talk about offers really quick. The other day I watched something and a person says, look, here's how to sell something for here's how to make easy money selling something for $19. You know what? Great. There are businesses that it makes perfect sense to sell things for $19. What I've learned is that in professional services, experts, if you get busy selling things for low dollar amounts, you will be so busy serving clients who don't appreciate you, you will never have time to actually build your business. I want you to write this down. If you get stuck in low price zone, you will get so busy chasing and we're servicing clients who don't appreciate, don't value what you've got, that you will never find time to actually build your business. So here is the transformational question that I want you to ask yourself. Don't ask, well, what should I charge for my services? Because it's a stupid question. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Here's the question that you want to ask yourself. What's the transformation that I want to provide for my clients? If I had a magic wand, everything was possible. If I could just take someone and give them a pill and take them from this point to that point, transform, their sex, their money, their appearance, their business, all right? Make their hair grow magically. What would be the maximum transformation that I want to provide for my clients that would just make me get out of bed in the morning, be fired up, be excited, that would make every person that I tell them, look, I want to do this for you, that would make them go like, holy shit, you want to do this for me? Wow, when can we get started? All right? What is that transformation? All right? Jim Padilla, man, Jim is like a rock star here. By the way, we've got some of the rock stars, John Schumacher, Jim Chinese. Jim just said the first year we went past 1 million, we cut out more than half of our clients our first step. Exactly. And I know what it means. You mean you cut out the bottom feeders, the lowest bottom of the clients to free up the bandwidth to focus on the highest value clients, right? So most people are so afraid. They go like, it has to do with I'm new, I'm inexperienced, I don't have a business card, I don't have a website. None of that matters. Again, I'm going to show you in a moment how we generate leads. We don't use any of this shit. Websites, nothing. I've got a website. I don't use it. All right. All right. Where was I? What's the maximum transformation you want to provide for your clients? Are you with me on this? And then ask yourself, if I were to provide this to my clients, what would be the impact on them? How would it change their life? What is there a monetary value? By the way, everything can be translated to a monetary value. Weight loss will impact things like sex, will impact things like career, will impact things like alertness and productivity because your energy levels are different. Therefore, it will impact your decision making, your performance, whether it's your own business or you work for someone else. If your stamina improves and your physical appearance improves and you feel appreciated and desired by the opposite sex, if your intimate life flourishes, whatever, right, is exciting, then it's going to impact other things that will eventually trickle down to monetary things. Everything can be translated into measurable outcomes that your audience can translate into dollars and cents, what it will be worth for them to invest to get that result. And here is the thing. That value is in the eye of the beholder. I don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. Your market has to tell you. You guesstimate to start with, and then you make that offer, and you see what happens, and you adjust accordingly. Bottom line is somewhere around $2,500 to $5,000 for professional services are some of the easiest market, some of the easiest things to sell, you can certainly do more, 10,000, 25,000. In our business currently, I used to have up to $100,000. I don't offer that to consulting coaching world. We only offer it to firms, but our offers start at 9 grand and go to about 50, I think. All right, with somewhere about 2 or 3 levels in between. So that gives you an idea. Do we have an entry lower point right now? We don't. And I don't apologize for it. I'm not interested in providing a band-aid to a gunshot wound that most entrepreneurs are hurt with. I want to transform your business. I want to literally transplant the brand of yours right now that keeps you stuck in the wrong thinking, grow slow, frustration, and overwhelm, and implant thinking and skill sets that will allow you to accelerate. That precise brain surgery is expensive. It took me last 25 plus years to figure out how to do this. It took me over $1 million. I never went to college, but it took me over $1 million in investments in education and coaching in myself. Yes, probably the same that a brain surgeon has paid for their education, $1 million. So if you're telling me, well, you're only doing this, in 1 day or in 3 hours or in 90 days. No, baby. It's taken me my entire 25, 30 years as an adult, as an entrepreneur, to get to this point where I can look at your situation and go, okay, we're going to cut out this sliver of a brain and we're going to put this little chip in there. And baby, you'll be firing up like a muck on steroids. All right? All right. Hopefully you get this idea. So another thing that I want you to remember when it comes to your offers is you need to become a specialist. Some of you think you are specialists. You are not. And here's what I want you to realize. There's actually 2 things I need to talk about when it comes to offers. This is vitally important. If you don't get this today, I don't want to scare you, but your business will struggle moving forward because of the market shifts. It's unavoidable. So shift number 1 is you need to become more narrowly specialized. You want to be known for something. I was known for many, many years as the attract clients like crazy guy. Today I want to be known as the revenue rev up guy. My specialty is I want to be the best in the world of taking people and accelerating the revenue. In fact, our promise is we take what you've made in the last 12 months and we'll double that in the next 12 weeks. And again, as I was trying to show you some numbers, unfortunately, unsuccessfully, you know what? I have an idea. I will redo this slide and I'll post it under the video just so you can actually see the freaking slide because it bothers me that I've screwed up. Anyway, I want to be known as the revenue rev guy. Now, here's why it's important. In the past, in a cave, there was darkness. And in came one person, lit up a spark, and made fire. Whoa, light, baby. All right, today, you walk into the room with no windows, you flip a switch, there's light. Not very impressive, right? Yeah, everybody goes like, yeah, it's light. You flip the switch, it's light. So you know how to coach business owners. Yeah, so does everybody, right? What's the big deal? Now what you need is a laser saber. A laser, which is same light bulb, condensed into a very narrow stream, and it can cut through 3 feet of concrete and steel. That concrete and steel is your market's skepticism, defense mechanisms, bullshit detectors, and everything else. If you just go broad message, they go like, yeah. If you go laser saber, you can cut through and then go, okay, you got my attention for a moment. Let me validate that what I've heard is correct. That's number 1. You need to become more narrowly specialized in something. You need to become known as the go-to person for one thing. So if your current offer is doing like, I help people do this and this and this, if you want to accelerate your business, let me tell you something. Cut out 90% of what you do. Solve one fucking problem, but solve it better than anybody else. I promise you it's going to pay off in spades. Does it feel scary? Absolutely. When a year and a half ago, I decided to take, again, 99% of my intellectual property and said, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care because that's just stuff. That's just junk. That's just process. What I really care is my audience is hurting. I need to make a difference. Let me do it this way. Boom, magic transformation, right? I feel invigorated. I feel in love with the clients that we attract. Fucking geniuses. I'm in awe who we get to work with. right? And I am so excited that we get to through them make even larger impact. Again, this freaking document that I can't show you. The reason I'm so excited because it actually shows revenue, and it's not about my revenue; it's about what we help them generate. And I get a percentage of it, right? So this is what really matters. Not how much I put in the bank and the house I live in, the car I get to drive. It's the fact that 90% of an audience I put my hands on, magic happens for them, and in turn, they make magic happen for other people. That is where the magic, this is where the juice is, right? So you got to become an expert. Second thing, which I'm alluding to right now, is that we are in a done for you seller that are awesome, perfect. This is what Jim is known for. Second thing you got to be known for, you've got to transform your offers. People, I'm telling you, why is it so much conversations about educate people? Don't go to colleges anymore. I spent $500,000 to educate my 2 kids. Massive mistake. I knew it was a mistake, but I wanted to give it to them. We did it. Massive mistake. One of my kids applied for a job and she made an income inquiry. They came back and said, well, if you still want to talk with us, that's great. But our job offer is $14 an hour. I mean, you got to be kidding me. $250,000 for college education, and you're getting a job offer from some freaking punks for $14? Wow. Talking about ROI on the investment that the colleges sell, massive bullshit, ripoff. All right. Online courses become the same way with 90%, 95% failure rate. Here's what I'm getting at. Value, results, actual transformation, success rate becomes critical. If your clients are not largely succeeding, you are slowly fading. Let me give you an analogy. Coaching market right now is like an automobile market in the early 20th century, early 1990s. Look, when people bought a car in 1990s, they were so freaking happy that they got a steering wheel for something with spokes on them and some sort of cylinder that made the car move, that they didn't care that this freaking piece of crap broke, every 200 yards. They were expecting this. It was a piece of shit, but it was a statement. I have a car. I'm an automobile owner. All right. And then came the 30s and 40s and 50s, and cars became better and more reliable and delivered results. And then came the 60s and 70s. And you may remember that little law being passed called Lemon Law. Yeah. To stop automobile makers from selling shit that broke every quarter mile. And you took it back and they said, nah, whatever. You're driving it the wrong way. Drive it this way. They drove out of the dealership and the damn thing broke again. The government actually passed the law to stop and penalize automakers for selling shitty cars. It was no longer 1900s, baby. All right. It was end of the 20th century, beginning to the 21st century. Now people want a reliable car that you go and change oil. Maybe you don't even, now you buy a car, you drive it for 5 years, you don't do shit, right? Elon Musk is now producing trucks, 18-wheelers, that don't even need brakes for a lifetime. No brakes change, no maintenance. It's a self-maintaining vehicle. Crazy stuff. So you think that other people that don't do this will be able to compete in 3 or 4 years? So how does this work for coaching consulting? Look, my suggestion is get on a results revolution wagon right now. In fact, one of the things I look for in clients we take on, can your work deliver results for your clients? If it doesn't, I don't want to help you promote this shit. I've made this mistake last year a couple of times. I took on clients, I looked at what they do, and I'm like, you're really peddling crap. And I made a mistake of helping them. I hated it. I couldn't get behind it. I can't help you promote crap, right? So get on the results revolution wagon, because if you don't, you will either be forced to do this, or worse, in a short period of time, you'll be penalized, most likely by some sort of government agency, for not doing it. They will literally swoop in, just like from time to time, FTC comes on different industries and says, look, you can't do this shit. You can't tell people that look, if cars sold vehicles that failed 90% of the time, if computers failed 90% of the time, if you bought 90% of groceries that were spoiled, those industries would be gone. And yet in business coaching, I'm specifically referring to business coaching, this is normal. People buy courses and 90% of people fail and go like, oh, okay, it was their fault. No. We've got to take responsibility for owning clients' results. So that's it. Last thing on creating offers that I will share with you, specialist, make sure you deliver results. Last thing is focus on talking the walk, not walking the talk, talking the walk, which means create offers that are based on the result you've already created for yourself or for other people. That's it. It's the fastest way to become really credible and really comfortable and powerful, because no one can tell you, well, you can't talk about it. You don't know how to do this. Like, no, I know how to do this. I've done this for myself 3 times. I've done this for 4 other clients 3 times for each one of them. I know exactly how it works. Now, it doesn't have to be a grandiose thing. Like, let me show you how to build another Apple. If you've never built an Apple company, don't promise people to know that you know how to do this. Promise people to do exactly what you've done for yourself or somebody else, but you know exactly how to do it repetitively. You know, you figured out a formula. You took the time and go, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, we will get predictable results. This is something that we call Dream Business Design Formula, and we walk you through how to figure out your superpowers, how to turn your superpowers into silver bullets, and how to then package silver bullets into what we call a Trojan horse offers that your audience wants to buy. All right? All right, let me stop in here. Let me check in with you. Let's talk about generating leads and actually selling. Now, generating leads and then selling, even though it's kind of in reverse, but we'll talk about it. Am I on track here? Am I delivering what I promised you, or am I just? I know I'm a little bit verbose. I didn't do slides. I'm a little. Hopefully, you're getting good enough value to sticking. So far, I'm looking at it. I've lost 10% of my audience. I can live with that. All right, let's see. Sell a system, not hope. Yeah, give them hope in your stories and conversations, but then actually no. Pam, the other way around. Sell them hope, but then have system to deliver on it hope. You see, most people sell system and then they hope to deliver on it. No. Sell people hope, because everybody wants hope, right? But then have a system to deliver on that hope. That's the magic. All right. The answer is excellent value. Excellent value. Cameron says, I'm digging it. Marilyn says, great stuff. Awesome. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate that. Awesome. Pat, leads. All right, let's talk about leads. You're going to love this. So somebody made a comment. So like, Adam, did you give up? So like, no advertising, no Facebook. Did you give up LinkedIn too? Yeah. In fact, if I were to log in, maybe I should do this. If I were to log into LinkedIn, which I have not logged in months, stupid probably, but you need to decide on which battles you're going to fight. I decided to become really good at something I called lighthouse content and spotlight lead generation. Lighthouse content, spotlight lead generation. So remember, you are in one of the 3 places. You, an expert, already want to do better. You, a business owner who wants to monetize your expertise, or you're just starting the business. So let me start with number 3 briefly. Actually, number 3 and number 2 are probably the very same. Your first thing is to validate everything that you do. And to validate, you need to get a lead, make an offer, close sale. Those are the 3 things. Your job is to make money, not to build business. You're not building Facebook. You're not building PayPal. You're not building SpaceX. You're not raising thousands of dollars. You're raising money by selling your expertise in advance through high-end offers. So, my program, I decided to sell it first, $5,000, 3 payments of $6,000. Okay. So if I have a group of 10 people, all I need to do is sell 10 people on a $5,000 program. Now I've got $50,000 a month. I need to do it once a month. I've got a $50,000 a month. That's it. All right. Now, how do I get leads? So here's another myth. Funnels. Just advertise. Well, if you don't know the language, advertising will fail for you. It's going to be too expensive. You won't convert. Funnels are not about technology. Funnels are first about psychology. Again, you don't know your offers. You don't know your audience. It won't work. So the first thing is start talking to an audience. And start talking to people, to potential clients. So your first step is direct outreach. direct outreach. This is something I became really good at, essentially reaching to people, tapping them on the shoulder, saying, I've got something cool, can I run it by you? And then I take them through the process that pre-qualifies them. Here's what you need to know. Over 100 clients last year. We had about 110, 115 sales conversation. An average conversation takes about 30 minutes. Some are as little as 15, with 85% close rate. I'm not on the phone 7 days a week, for 90 minutes. I get on the phone with people very briefly. So the reason for it is spotlight. I reach out, I tap people on the shoulder, and I said, look, you look like a successful coach or consultant. It looks like you've got a good game going on. If I showed you how I can double your business without spending money on advertising, so you get to keep all the money you bring in, would you want to explore this? And they say, sure. I'm like, all right. Well, before I show you, let me ask you a few questions. Here's the key to what I just did. Let me out myself. It's a tap and then let them come to you. Tap on the shoulder and then let them come to you. So once you have an offer, once you pretty much figure out what you want to sell, then you start looking who is an ideal person for it. Again, we do an exercise to figure it out. Who is an ideal person for it? We tap that person on the shoulder. We float an idea. And then when they say, I'm interested, say, look, I would love to show you. Let me ask you a few questions. And then ask qualifying criteria. Are you in this space? Tell me, what are you actually selling? Are you in a place that are you looking to make an investment for yourself? Or are you available to make an investment? You can ask all those questions. You don't owe people anything. You don't owe them time on the phone. Specifically, when we get on the phone with people, I make two promises. Number one is that there is no hardcore selling. Number two, this is not a free strategy planning session. Look, let me just put an end to this bullshit. Everybody says, well, sign up for my free strategy planning session in a high-end space, right? Well, let me tell you what you're going to learn in a planning session. Exactly the thing that you already know you're going to learn. They're going to tell you, well, two-step funnel. You're going to generate leads. So we're going to do a webinar of Facebook ads. And then we're going to create a high-end offer for you, right? So let's talk about high-end offer. Can you sell something for $5,000? Well, yeah. Okay, so we will get leads with advertising and webinar, and then we'll put a high-end offer. You're going to sell it for $5,000. So there is your strategy. Do you know how to do it? Well, no. Well, how about we sell you a $50,000 coaching program? Here's your fucking strategy session. Duh. How many of those were you on? And then after 20 minutes of that, what follows is 2 hours of beating you into a pulp, telling you how you're an idiot if you don't invest in yourself. Hello, right? So I decided, you know what? My audience is sophisticated enough. They know the game. I don't want to play the game. Look, I can show you some conversations with clients. I can show you the description of the program. And then if it's attractive, let's get on something we call a mutual fit assurance chat. A mutual fit assurance chat. I don't do assessments. At least I'm telling you this, that took us to $800,000 in sales of one program. All right. Now, are we now accelerating it? I'm going to come back to this in a moment. Absolutely. I'm telling you where you get to start. If you're not making a $500,000 to your business, you're making it too fucking complex with your technology. Stop it. All right. So look, we treat people like humans. We tap them on the shoulder, we have a conversation, we show interest. They said, look, I'm interested. I said, great, I'll show you. But look, I want to be respectful of your time and my time. Can we flash out a few details first? Great. We flashed out a few details. I said, look, here's what I've got. Here's how it works. If it still excites you, great. And then I talk about, look, here's who you have to be. You have to have the courage to grow fast. Lots of people say, I want to make a lot of money fast. They don't have the courage. They don't have the confidence. Lots of people say, I want it, but they're not willing to do what it takes. They want an easy button. I don't have an easy button. So I said, look, it's going to scare the shit out of you. You're going to work hardest for the next 90 days that you've ever worked in your life. You're going to curse me every step of the way. You're going to love the results, but you're going to curse me every step of the way. You're going to work your ass off. And if you're okay with all of that, then perhaps we should talk. If you're not, look, you're not a loser. You're not serious about your success. In fact, you're probably an amazing person. You're just not in a place, and this is not a methodology that would excite you. This is perfectly fine. you are still an awesome person. Let's just not waste each other's time. But if after me disclosing all of this, you still want to have a conversation, then I'm also going to ask, look, if this conversation appears that, if this is a fit, will you be prepared to make an investment? Do you have the funds? I don't want to get on the phone with you and you say, oh my God, I love you. You're such an amazing person, but I don't have the money. I don't play this game. If you call yourself an entrepreneur, we'll figure out the money. Let's not money get in the way. All right? So if that's okay, let's get on the phone. Why is it called mutual fit assurance chat? For 3 reasons. Number one, because there is no free consulting or coaching. Will I give you some tips? Oh, I can help myself. The people that I now bring into my business, we can help ourselves. We want to help you. We'll give you ideas. That's just a given. Number two, but we start with the premise, don't dial in to pick my brain for free. That's painful. I don't do this. I charge money for this. Number two, I will treat you like a human. I'm not going to, if I discover that you've got balance on your credit card, I'll be following up with you until your grandkids are dead, until I get my dollars. No, I don't want to do that. It's like, in fact, I'll be the first one to tell you if it's not a fit. I'll be the first one to tell you, don't buy from me. I can't provide results. What a novel idea, right? So we're looking for a fit, which brings me to number three. You're going to have a few questions for me, usually 2 or 3 that were not disclosed in my materials. And I'm going to have probably 2 or 3 questions for you that I always wait to ask on the phone to determine whether or not, we will mesh, we will jive. If I can support what it is that you do. And again, I want to figure out if I can be 100% confident that I can get the results for you. Now, confident does not mean guarantee, right? Failure happens. That's life. I wish I could have 100% success rate. I don't. All right. 90, it still bugs me, but I've got to accept the fact that we're all humans. So that's it. That's why those calls are so short. So now I generate leads organically. Look, if things go well, this very call is an example of a lighthouse content and spotlighting. Some of you know me because I tapped you on the shoulder in the past and I started developing a relationship, right? Some of you already had a conversation with me and said, yeah, Adam, I want to be in. Maybe some of you already are clients, right? Some of you went for the lighthouse content. Lighthouse content is a promise of different results, different thinking, different strategy. Just like this webinar. Look, I spent 0 money. There's about 40 of you right now watching this. By the time this is done, this video will be watched probably in the next few days, about 300-400 times. All right? So that's about, some of people watch twice or whatever. I don't know how Facebook measures this. Let's say about 200 people will watch this. Some of you will like it enough to say, Adam, I want to be part of the RRI game. So if we do our job right, chances are this very piece of lighthouse content, lighthouse meaning you in the fog, you're confused, you out there, you signing up for people's shit, not getting results. And I said, look, come home, baby, come to the safe port. Let's figure out how to make that business of yours work finally once and for all. And I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to sell you anything. What I want to do is partner with you at the hip. Let's work together. All right. And I commit that I am just responsible as you are for your results. In fact, in our business, there are 200% responsibility buckets. Your success is not 100% responsibility, it's 200% responsibility. 100% on you and 100% on me. And every time one of us is falling less than 100, we've got to come back and say, okay, we need to readjust. We both need to be at 100 for this shit to work. All right? So that's lighthouse content. If I do the job right, some of you will want to have a conversation, a mutual fit assurance chat. And if we do this right, chances are this call and the follow-up will result in a 6-figure payday, or 6-figure pay week, I should say. All right? I'm not telling you this to go like, oh, look how freaking great you are. I'm telling you this because every single one of you can replicate the process for yourself. Do you need some tactics? You bet. But look, there was no paid ads. There was no great hoopla. Look at this technology. I've got a freaking webcam in front of me and my computer. I'm doing this on purpose because an average person that I do business with does not have a bazillion of dollars and technology know-how to know how to do fancy stuff. Can you do an unfancy shit like this? And the answer is always 100% yes. Will you be uncomfortable? Will you make mistakes? Look, I can even show you some piece of evidence that I wanted to. I mean, I'm failing massively here. And you know what? It's kind of who I am. I'll fix it next time. that's life. Shit happens. I had this idea yesterday. Let's do it today. Look, in less than 24 hours, we have you on the call, and we are engaging and we're building a relationship. Can you do that? Yes. All right. So spotlighting is with posting free posts. Spotlighting is many of you are on this webinar because I went to other people's Facebook groups. Now, I don't say like, hey, come join my group. Here's an amazing post I did in my group. Never once you'll find a post like this. I'm very respectful of other people's groups, but what you will find is 1,000-word comment. I will literally spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes writing a response, and that response will be, here is how to do X, Y, Z. Now, I want you to write this down. If you want to get leads for free, get good at writing 2 types of posts in other people's groups. In fact, I don't even write posts. I don't start posts. I comment on other people's posts. All right? So I want you to get good. Let me get some tea here. 2 types of posts. Number 1 is what I call a conversation stopper, which is, and I do a number of those. I love conversation stoppers because I tend to think a little bit differently than majority of people in the coaching and consulting industry. So when they ask a question, I would acknowledge the question. I give them an answer. Like the other day, I wrote in response to someone who wanted to know, how long should the coaching session be? And I wrote an entire dissertation about the length of a coaching session is a completely irrelevant. It's an antiquated therapy business-based model. You show up every week for a 55-minute session, you lay on the couch, you talk about bullshit, and you do it for a decade, and you're still as fucked up as you were the day you showed up. All right? That's an old model. Today, we talk about creating transformation, not just following the process. So I went to this. That's a conversation stopper. When I wrote this post, there's no one else that can comment with anything else. No one else is going to say, well, what you should do is, 3 30-minute sessions a month. Because it's bullshit. Everything else that will come after my whole thing, like here's the psychology, here's the technology, here are specific models, here are specific things you can do in your practice to use this. And you're going to be freer as a coach. You can work from anywhere, and you're going to make more money, and you're going to make a bigger impact on your clients. Like, you can't argue with this. Now, that demonstrates my depth of information on a topic. That's a conversation stopper. The second topic that I do is what's called a shit stirrer. Yeah, I stick a stick in there and just mix it up. Somebody says A, I say B. Excuse me, not to be a jackass, in a way a little bit. I want to stir up controversy again. To show up that the way most people think is flawed. That's why 95% of people are failing. If everybody was right, everybody would be rich and famous. They're not. Why? Because their thinking is leading them in the wrong direction. Again, look, this isn't like I'm better than anybody else. I'm just giving you methodologies. By the way, I don't even claim that I'm right. It just happens to work for me and the clients that we work with. But does other stuff work? Yeah. All right, this is just one method, probably in many, just one path. And I say, come to the light. All right. So conversation stopper or shit stirrer. Then posts on your own profile. Don't be afraid to put it. By the way, I have training on this in the Fastest Path to Cash. You can watch training on getting leads from social media. There is more stuff. I don't need to go in depth because I've got like half an hour, 45 minutes training already in this group, specifically with steps and tactics how to do that. All right. But I do essentially this: posts in other people's groups. I use posts in this group to identify people to raise their hand. When they comment certain things, it lets me know, this person could potentially be a good person for us. And then I'm outing myself. Some of you have experienced this. Some of you will be experiencing this. When we tap you on the shoulder and I said, look, I think I can help. Do you want to explore this? And if yes, I don't want to pressure you. If you say no, doesn't make me love you any less. It doesn't mean you're not serious about providing for your children. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you're not ready. We don't do pressure or fear-based or anxiety-based selling. Don't do that. The other day I was in the group and somebody says, well, the person told me, they talked to their husband, they don't want to buy from me. What should I say? And others chiming in with like writing multi-page letters. And it's like, oh, so who's in charge? Or, a lot of this and this. And I'm like, gosh, I would have done the same thing just a short while ago. And now I cringe. I'm like, you know why? Because if I deal with the corporations and they make a decision, I'm not going to write a letter to CEO, go like, you really fucked up. You let your board manipulate like this. So you have no balls. You're indecisive. You're a loser. Your business is going to fail. And here's what I think is really going on. You have a fear of commitment. And, this is, how else is this showing up in your life? And chances are your spouse is going to leave you because you're probably bad in bed. I mean, people write shit like this. I'm like, whoa. They just said, you know what? I decided this is not a good fit for the time being. That's it. That doesn't mean, anything about me. Now, can you use methods to help people shift their thinking? Yes. But don't guilt people. Don't put them in the fear. I can't tell you how many times I have clients who come and say, their coaches or the coach's sales team told them they will fail. They're nothing. They're worthless. The products are shit and they're not worth any money. I'm like, wow, your coaches told you this? Yeah, because then they sold me their $40,000 package so I can be worth again. I'm like, wow, this is, again, folks, full disclosure, I've done this. And I'll beat myself for the rest of my life for the times that I've done this. I didn't know any better. And now I realize this is not a way to do it. And the market is rapidly changing, that those who will not change will be crushed in just a few short years. Again, I don't want to, that's my prediction. Am I right? I have no idea. All right. So now, if you already have some momentum, if you're an expert, then you definitely should be looking at things like bots, Facebook ads, webinars, or video sales letters, aka mini webinars, and definitely paid advertising. Now, before you do that, what you really want to do is make sure you have all the plumbing done correctly in your business. Meaning, when someone engages with your post, with your website, then you have funnel, not in a traditional sense, like, well, click here, then upsell, then downsell, then go left, then go right. Funnel as in they came to your website and now they go to read somewhere on another website and they see an ad from you. Or they come to Facebook and they see an ad from you to the next step. If you don't have that wiring, that plumbing done, chances are you're paying way too much for leads and you have a very leaky bucket. All right. And again, leads have been cheap over the last few years, conservative cheap. Some, even if you pay, $8 or $10 for webinar registration, which by the way is a lot. If you're paying this much, you're paying too much, and it's because you're not doing your marketing the right way. But that said, those costs will only increase. And everybody that's already an expert that uses paid methods, I'm not just making shit up. This is coming directly from Facebook, from YouTube, from Google, from all the advertising channels, because there's only so much availability and more people are becoming alert to those methods, right? And then the last thing, or somewhere simultaneously, in order to grow your business, you want to do two additional things. You want to have people that will take over selling for you, right? And let's call it what it is. It is selling, right? If we're in business and you are afraid to sell, go get a job. It's just that simple. You must sell. And so you must bring eventually someone who can take over selling. Now, again, in my business, one of the last things I'm letting go, because our sales are so effortless. They don't take much time. And at 85% close rate, I know that when I get on the phone with someone, this is my revenue generator. I don't need to let this go because I'm getting paid big money to do this. All right. But eventually, actually, right now in the process, we're letting that part go as well. Because again, while I'm traveling, I still want my business to be filling in with clients. And then another thing you want to do is that you want to transition out of one-on-one work into group work, and then eventually from group work to a facilitator work, meaning someone else can do the facilitation. You don't have to do the coaching. Again, this is now accelerating your business model. So you first have to rev up, get some momentum. Then you do acceleration strategies to actually start scaling the business to the next level, where it generates more revenue, like beyond $500,000, $750,000, and $1 million. But up until about 500,000, 750 again, you don't have to do any paid advertising. Just do lighthouse content, become good on social. I became good on Facebook only and messaging people. That entire revenue came largely through messaging people on Facebook. In fact, I didn't start my Facebook group until about July, August of last year. And while it's helping, it's actually a distraction. So if you in the earlier stage, don't even worry about the group. Look, your job is not to build an audience. That's a vanity metric. Your job is not to build an audience. Your job is to get a client. Your job is not to get 100 followers in a month. Your job is to get 5 clients in a month. Because, I'll go toe to toe with someone who says, well, look, I just built a group with 2,000 people this month. Great. And I just brought in 10 clients at $10,000 this month. Ta-da, which one would you prefer? All right. Would you rather have 100K in a bank, or would you rather have 2,000 people like your fan page? Useless. What are you going to do with your likes? Last I checked, I can't go to the bank and say, hey, I just brought 2,000 likes. Can I please pay my mortgage with that? Sir, I don't think so. All right. So let's talk about selling really quick. It's actually 2 things I wanted to do. Yeah. So lead gen basic, which is lighthouse content, spotlighting, advanced, you paid advertising, and then essentially every time it works the same, whether you do free or paid stuff, generic, organic, or paid advertising, it's all about an audience, filtering that audience as quickly as you can into a conversation so you can make an offer, and then having the ability to actually close the sale. I think you go in reverse, right? So leads, filtering to make an offer, and then from an offer, ability to actually facilitate the sales conversation in a very elegant, effortless way. We could talk about pricing a little bit. I'll talk about pricing in a moment. Selling. Selling is largely about your audience. It's never about you. Selling is about identifying where your audience is, or your potential client, where they are at, where they want to be, and what's getting in between that prevents them from bridging that gap. And whether or not that gap between where they are and where they want to be is significant, substantial, and something they truly want to address and bridge, and whether or not your method of bridging it would be helpful to them. And that's it. So that's conceptually, that's entire sales process, where they are at, where they want to be, and the gap, and helping them make a decision that the gap is important enough that they want to close it, and whether or not your method of closing the gap is the right method for them. And it's for them to decide and for you to decide as well. And if you see that your method is not a right method, do not take them as a client. Second thing, intentionality in business is huge, which means if you show up for conversations with this fear and this drive, like I've got to make money, I can guarantee you're going to lose nearly every sale, with the very exception of the few who are more desperate than you are. So you have to show up. You have to get yourself out of self-focus and into them focus. All our conversations start with the basic premise: we are here to make a difference. How can I make the biggest impact I possibly can in a few minutes that we have? Now, whether it means we will end up in business together, or it means we're not in business together, the impact will be made. All right? So my job is to provide transformational value every time we connect, not to make money. Money is just a byproduct. All right? And the number 3 thing is you do need to learn you need to create a script for sales. Everything is a script. Everything is a script. Your conversation with your spouse. Hey, how are you doing this morning? Fine, honey. How are you doing? Conversation with the boss. Hey, so what did you do last night? Or whatever. Everything is based on scripts. How are you? Fine. How are you? It's a script, right? So selling is no different, but you need to understand the psychology of that conversation, not the actual scripting. because scripting can change from conversation to conversation. What's important for you is to understand that, again, your job is to identify where they're at, where they want to be, what's getting in the way, and then I need to identify the time frames, the cost objections, the gain potential, all sorts of things like this, whether or not it makes sense. All right. So, all right, I think I'm close to being done. We're just a little bit over. Where are we at? Like, well, almost 2 hours right now. Am I close? Am I right? All right, let me talk a little bit about the next step. So I told you earlier that I don't think this webinar will be everything that you possibly need to have. There's just no way. And, if you were here from the very beginning, you remember this, that, for three reasons. It's just, it would be insulting your intelligence. I don't know what you need. And it just would make you, unless, it would be a lie to make you excited and stay with me, which is not true. But if you like these ideas and if you enjoyed somewhat the energy and thinking that I provide, and if you would like some assistance with having it work in your business, ideal person for us that we can help has either fitness-oriented, relationship-oriented, and ideally business-oriented service business, consulting, coaching that provides services in the area of helping other businesses, other people who have relationships better or improve their health. Ideally, you would have made somewhere between around 25,000 to about 175,000 in the last 12 months. All right. If that's the case, we can very comfortably help you double that in the next 12 months. I'm sorry, in the next 12 weeks, right? So 25,000 to 175,000 in the past 12 months. We can help you do that in the next 12 weeks. Our promise is that at the very minimum, you will generate $30,000, 27 actually to be precise, but we just go for $30,000 in 12 weeks. All right, again, that's a very basic that we shoot for depending on where. So if you brought in $25,000 in the last year, we should to get you to this first $25,000 first before. This is the rev up method. Very much just no technology. We don't even do, look, another thing I didn't mention, we don't even do the typical application funnel. We just ask people to message us, right? Just want to ask you if this is appealing to you, send me a message, and both of you can maybe put the message in comment to Adam at the Marketing Mentors. Email me at Adam at the Marketing Mentors, or message me here on Facebook, or comment below that you want us to reach out to you. Now, when you message me, I want to know this. I want to know your direct phone number. All right. Not some number that I need to call a secretary and talk to her for 3 days. A number that when I can reach you, it either gets to you, and if not, you respond to the call reasonably quickly, like in the next few minutes or so, right? Unless you're in the board meeting or you're on the crapper, right? You pick up the phone. You get the idea. Second, I need your email. So if you send me the message via Messenger here on Facebook, make sure I've got your email. Third, let me know who you work with and how you provide value for them. Again, 1 or 2 sentences. Don't write me essays. I don't have time to read your essays. All right? 1 or 2 sentences. Here's who I work with. Here's how I provide value for them. And the fourth thing that I'm going to ask from you, is briefly tell me your goal. Like financially, what would you want to generate in the next 12 weeks and beyond? All right? So at least in the 12 weeks, maybe you want to give me an annual goal. Now, for 12 weeks, that goal needs to be at least $30,000. If it's less, we're not a good fit. Right there, I can tell you that. Now, if you want to generate more, it still doesn't mean we're a good fit. I don't know that I can actually help you. So, look, what makes this game of ours different is some things I've shared with you earlier. We do provide you with training, but unlike school, unlike other people's courses, my focus is not on you consuming material. Our focus is on you immediately getting into action, getting leads, closing sales. It's not unusual for our clients to get completely their investment back within the first 2 to 4 weeks. Does it always happen? No, but it's not unusual. All right. So another criteria is that you are providing some tangible qualitative value to clients. If you're teaching people how to, I don't know, paint butterflies on the windows because it makes them feel great, and there's no tangible outcome beyond that, I probably can't help you, right? So it's got to be providing tangible value that really makes an impact, solves real problem. Another thing that's important is that you're not afraid to put in the work. Now, look, I'm not going to ask you to do anything unethical. When I say you're going to work your ass off, I'm not exaggerating, but it's not like you're going to be not sleeping for 90 days, right? It's a norm. You're going to be working hard as it is. You just will be a little bit more focused. And financially, I'm going to tell you what the investment is and why you would want to do this right now. But if it's a stretch, perfectly normal, right? We all stretch ourselves. If it's a hardship, not a match. You know, there might be a person watching this who's on our fastest path to cash provides financing for coaching companies. And there was a time when we actually seriously almost went that route. Today, I think, look, if you have to mortgage your house to get into a program, it just means it's not a good time for you. It just means you've got to take some of this stuff you learned from here and do it as well as you can on your own to generate some more revenue. Then you come and hire coaches and say, help me do it better. All right. So I'm not a believer in you like going and, can you put it on a credit card? Yes. All right. But again, it shouldn't be a hardship. Like if you go between paying mortgage and paying Adam, no, don't do that. I don't want you. All right. That's too much pressure for me, too much pressure for you. So what's the investment? The investment is $9,000, or if you pay up front, $7,500. However, for a game that I have starting, we're starting 2 games in March. I have, I think, 4, 5, or 6. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest, at this point. I should have checked. 4, 5, or 6 spots for a game that starts beginning of March in about a week and a half. And for that game, we're actually still rolling with last year's prices. So your investment is $7,500, 3 payments of $2,500. If you want to invest up front, it's $6,000. All right, that's it. $7,500 or 6. I'm telling you all the criteria, so there is no like shock, there is no magic, there's no like Now look, I get it if you are scared. I get it if this is like, I didn't come here expecting to do this. I totally get all of this. I get it if it's not a fit, but consider alternatives. Just getting excited of the content that I shared with you, not good enough. I apologize. I wanted to go a little bit more into tactics, I didn't go into as much as I wanted to, but there's plenty of tactical training in this group already. Just watch through the videos. I deliver a shitload of value because I believe that information alone is not enough. You need implementation. And look, implementation, it varies from person to person. You need adjustments. Just like Snuggle needed to change names, needed to change pricing, needed to change marketing channels in order to become successful. Your business is likely the same. It needs fine-tuning, and my job is to know how to fine-tune it. All right. Second reason you want to be the first one to reach out to us is because this is actually the last game I am largely coaching the entire game. A coach steps in for a couple of weeks when I'm in China and can coach, but pretty much for the entire game, you will still get me as a coach. I'll personally oversee the growth of your business. Now, that's true in the future as well. I will always personally be involved, but there's another intermediary stepping in between us. Doesn't make it any worse. It's just different. So if you enjoy my boldness, this is the last time to do this for me to help you out with it. All right? All right. Pam, yes, 6K for 90 days, correct. All right? Which I know I'm massively underpriced comparing ourselves to other people. And the results that we can create and the guarantees we've got in place. But again, I want it to be for the right person. This is a no-brainer. If, again, you reaching out, we will have a conversation within the next couple of days. I'm actually finishing this, heading off to San Diego for a couple of parties today and tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday. We'll likely have a conversation on Monday or Tuesday. All right. Once again, my promise is there is no hard pressure selling. What you see here, kind of a goofiness. I can be cross. I can be direct. I can push some of your buttons when needed to help you think differently, but I will not make you feel bad. And in fact, those entire calls are primarily for me to talk you out of doing business with us if you're not a good fit. I know it's the weirdest thing you will hear people say. I don't know if anybody else says it that does it. My job is to talk you out of doing business with me if I am not 100% confident that I can help you. All right. So that's my promise. Anything else that I need to, Bo, maybe you can type in a comment. Phone number, email, who you work with, how do you provide value, your financial goal, and we'll take it from there. Now I want to give you also another thing. Chances are I will tap some of you on the shoulder. Maybe because you need to know that someone believes in you. Does that mean that we'll work together? No. But I might reach out. Might or might not. I don't know. I might. We'll see. All right. Unless you reach out to me first. So timestamp, whether you PM me or email me matters because those spots at lower price points for the program that I personally coach, again, there are only a handful of them. For the program that starts later in March, second half of March, we go back to the new pricing for 2018. All right. Any questions? Bob, if you caught anything, you want to retype it. Tommy says, your boldness is what makes you and the main reason we all here because, well, you mean boldness as is my bald head. Thank you. I appreciate that, Tommy. I can tell you, so I know that some of you are in direct sales organizations. And unless you're at the level where you are turning yourself into an authority, and unless attached to your specific line of product and more attached to selling your expertise, I can tell you that's not a good fit, right? So we typically do not support people in direct selling, again, unless they have, unless you're at a very high level and now monetizing your expertise. Another thing I can tell you is, I'm looking at the comments here. Let's see what else. So glad Molly Mahoney told us about this webinar. Yeah, thank you, Molly. Molly is such a good fan of mine, and I believe that when people meet Molly, they fall in love with Molly. Like in a good sense, in a good way. She's just an amazing person. A professional joy spreader. She just wants everybody to be happy. Just amazing. All right, what do you get? Coaching sessions, at-home program, group coaching. Oh, great thing. Oh my gosh, Renette, thank you. I'm such a douche. So, what's most important, aside from the logistics, is that we focus again on you getting leads, knowing how to make offers, and generate sales. And I don't want to get into all the logistics, how we do this. There is a little bit of magic in there. You do get access to a course. It's called Big Ticket Sales Machine, that at one point in 2016, we were selling it for $12,000. I'm not kidding you. We were selling it as a $12,000 program, 8-week startup, and then a 1-year following. But it had no special coaching, no one-on-one, no small groups, right? So you get that course as a foundation of education. We facilitate the course through, number one, you get a private session where we actually build your strategy. We create your offers, we build your languaging, we create your strategy. Then we deliver most of the work through 2 calls a week. One call is in a small group. This is going to be your personal revenue rev up intensive game accountability group. And you're going to get to know everybody very, very well. They're going to get to know you. Again, we do some very magic stuff in there that sort of forces you from all sorts of angles to actually get into execution and deployment mode. But it is group. And then we have a second call a week where, we coach tactics, all the answers, coaching you through sales conversations, coaching you through lead generation, coaching you through your offers. All right. So those are 2 calls a week that will be happening every single week. You're in a program, you've got those 2 calls. Um, let's see. Those are really the biggest things. There's some more. Now, here's the stuff that we did not do. The next game coming up will be the first game we'll be doing this. And that is number one, we'll actually give you templates for lead gen. I was teaching spotlighting, but I was kind of vague about it. And I'm realizing our students need more support with this. So we're actually right now creating more training on exactly templates, how to reach out to people. When they respond, what to respond back with. What's a template of a lighthouse content post that will make people reach out to you? So we're going to give you this. We'll also create the simplest possible template of a website that you want to put together. You want to have a 2 or 3 page website, very specific. We will give you a template that you can just copy and paste, replace a couple of images. We're going to put that in play for the next group. This was not available in previous groups. This is the first time we're launching this, and I think it's going to make a huge, huge, huge difference. All right. Thanks, Pam. I will enjoy those parties. What else? You get, man, there's like so much, but again, I'm always careful because it's not about the stuff you get. It's about the results that you generate because of that. So if you're looking for bulk, we don't ship you stuff. Yeah, we ship you some stuff, but you get lifetime access to the course online. Once the game is finished, you get lifetime access to everything that happened in the game. Anyway, that's it. Let's see. I'm one of those doing what I can with the resources available before I can afford financially. Awesome. The end. Do what you can. Perfect. By the way, high-end mentor, when you think about it, business coaching starts, for some people at about $1,000, $1,500. So in this case, it's $2,500 a month. This is still, high-end is so relevant. To some people, it's a lot of money. It really isn't. It really isn't. Your reality can be very, very different by the end of next week if you decide that you want it to be so. All right. Bo, if you see some questions there were a bunch of comments from you ladies and gents throughout that I did not probably see all of them. So if there is something I need to circle back to, let me know. If not, we'll be wrapping it up. Robert, thank you for agreeing with Tammy. Tammy, thank you for those kind words. Appreciate that. Catherine says, great stream. Thank you. Appreciate that. Lorette, great again. Thanks. Blah, blah, blah. Amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Renee says, look, let me ask you something. If you're about to make a comment and say how you're not a candidate, stop. Let me just stop you right there. Why do you need to validate to yourself? You are a candidate if you choose. You belong or don't belong based on your own beliefs. So if you want to put in writing that you don't believe in yourself enough yet, again, you don't have to apply to work with me. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm asking you is please stop validating to yourself, because that's how 99% of people think. I am not this. I am not this. I am not ready. I'm not. And instead, start asking, okay, how can I do this? How can I be ready? How can I accomplish certain result? All right. And if you can't think of how to do this, at least don't write how you cannot. Not for me. I don't get anything out of it. It's for you to start shifting your thinking. Because if you continue saying like, wow, amazing. Look, first of all, do you want your clients to do this to you, potential clients? Wow, you're amazing. I don't want to work with you because I've got certain limitations. You don't, right? So don't do behavior that you don't want to experience yourself. Number two, don't put in writing validating your own limitations. Why would you commit to writing your own limitations? Don't do that, right? Again, this is not to make you wrong. You are amazing. It's just, we all do stupid things. I do the stupidest things all the time. So, all right. Renee says, I do transformation coaching. Very cool. So if you do transformation coaching, start transforming your own thinking to different levels. Awesome. Is there coaching included? Absolutely, Pat. You bet. Yes. Yeah, the small group we do. So number one is you get some one-on-one up front to get the strategy in place. And then every single week, everything that we do is coaching. Training is online. You can access The way the training works is it's massive. It's probably one of the best programs on the topic there is. I know many people who have taken what I taught them, build their own programs based on this. All right. Some of you are household names. You know exactly where they are. And when people come to my program, look at what we teach, they go like, I know where they got that from. Yep, baby. Not that I'm so smart. I've just been at it longer than others, right? So they felt free to borrow. But aside, and so we coach. And when you come with a practical problem, I said, look, why don't you go and watch that training first? And then let's have a conversation and see what we need, how we need to adjust what you just learned so you can deploy it. Everything we do is coaching. All right. Michelle says it scares the crap out of me. All right, perfect. That's a good place to be in. It's a good place to be in. I don't bite. Again, if I cannot help you, Michelle, I'll be the first one to tell you. So, hey, congrats on just identifying that it's something that scares you want to do. Perfect. I don't fall under business, relationship or health transformation, or were you being general in that statement? Well, if you okay, great example. All right, so I know what you're saying, Renee, that you sell transformation. Okay, great. So do I. I sell You know, when people say, what is this that you do, that I do? I am so wired for my online methodologies. When I meet people in person, I just say, I'll make something stupid. Or if they really press, I say, look, I am in the business of transforming lives. That's it. I'm in a transformational business. I transform lives every single day. I chose the vehicle of marketing training to do that, but I'm in the business of transformation. So the reason you most likely have not yet achieved the kind of financial compensation for what you do that your business can likely bring you is because you sell the process, transformation. Instead, you want to sell the value. So what's the result that people will get because of the transformation? What is the problem they have? And then you bring your transformation and boom, here's the outcome. The more specific you get on, here's where people get, I don't know if that's your specific situation, but the problem I've seen again and again and run into all the time is, I do XYZ type coaching. So I sell transformation. Whatever problem you have, you divorced, you'll be, you dead, you will be alive. You skinny, I'll make you fat. You've got hair, I'll make you bald. Oh, wait, in the other way. All right, never mind. All right, so you single, you'll be married. You fat, you'll be skinny. You bald, you won't have hair. You didn't have sex in 7 years, you'll have sex tonight. Whatever, all right? Transformation, every problem. Well, what do you actually do? Who do you really help? How do you speak to those many potential clients on your thing? Instead, identify one big problem that you can apply your transformational process to and keep telling about educating people on that problem, how it impacts their lives, how you can make them better, and then what's the result that they will experience once that work is done. Instead, you keep selling the work. Folks, do you know why Starbucks became so successful and why they're able to charge so much for coffee and while they're still #1 coffee chain in the world? Do you know why? Because they stopped selling coffee. Starbucks, very early in the 80s, shifted out of coffee business. They became in the business of what's called third place. They identified that people prefer to meet with someone. There was a revolution coming of solopreneurs, freelancers working out of anywhere. I was one of them. My first coaching meetings in the 90s, in the early 2000s, were in Starbucks. I had a home office. Back then, working out of home office was not cool. And I did some work with clients one-on-one. So instead of renting an office, I would just meet with them at Starbucks. It became a third place. Now look, if I were to rent an office, it would have been $100 per hour. If I went to Starbucks, I just paid 2 coffees for, and a muffin for a total of $10. And I had the same space, right? It was fun, it was clean, it was energetic, it was perfect. So I got 90% savings. I didn't mind paying $5 for a cup of coffee. I still saved $90, right? So what are you actually selling? You don't sell transformation. You sell what the transformation will do for people. That is part of the magic that we do with clients. We help you translate your process into value and results. All right. We translate the framework that you use into the actual value that the client will enjoy once that framework is installed. That's it. All right. Healing beliefs. All right. So we could go on and drive deeper. I don't know what healing beliefs mean. All right. Belief being systems that are destroying the relationship. So essentially, you're working in relationships. So look, beliefs is not, someone doesn't wake up in the middle of the night, whether it's, a woman will think about it differently than a man. All right. A man would just be driven by sex. They just want to be admired, adored, and they want to have sex. Women want to have a sense of security. They want to be supported by someone, right? They want to be cuddled. They want to have someone to hold hands with, someone that will believe in the dreams, right? And have sex with as well. So when they're struggling in a relationship, they're not thinking, I know I have those beliefs that are holding me back and my relationship sucks. Instead, they're probably thinking to themselves, why is it that my relationship sucks? Why is it that my husband never supports me? Why is it that I always date losers for men? Why is it this? Why is it that, I have a bunch of one-night stands and then they never call me back? Why is it? All right. And your job is how to go from dating a dud to making Mr. Stud falling in love with you. That's it. I'm making it simplifying, but it's the simplest thing. How do you go from duds to studs? How do you go from multiple duds to one Mr. Stud that's going to be yours forever and ever? And shower you with love, adoration, flowers, and diamonds for the rest of your life, and even afterlife, all right? That is what you do. And then you talk to people about all the things that are going wrong, that are doing wrong. And anyway, I'm getting out of myself. The rest is in my marketing video, blah, 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 blah. All right, what else we got? What if I have some serious skills but don't really know what my offer is? Perfect. So there is a process for that. Like app used to have, there's an app for that. There is a process for that. So we'll look at, again, what is it that you ideally want to help clients with? What are your skill sets? And then we'll turn it into an offer. That is actually one of my unique skill sets. Turning kind of those convoluted things into nice, clean offers. All right. All right. I think we're done. My ad is 4 secrets to meeting and keeping a good man. Perfect. So now, here's a last thing I'll leave you with. Congruency. When you look through my chosen channel of marketing right now, Facebook, right? If you look through my Facebook profile, which is kind of where people will meet me first, you're going to notice that a lot of things talk about clients, talk about different ways of thinking, asking questions that are related, either illustrate how I think differently, how I'm a bit of a rebel, or actually pointing directly to what it is that I do. Now, people friend me all the time, and then I'll reach out and look on the pages, and I'll just grab my head and go like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? They'll have political posts. They'll have animal posts. And, so like, for example, I go to a page to someone that is a, relationship consult coach. And then and they talk about love and finding, Mr. Right. And then I go to the page, and I'm not saying that's you, Renee, by the way. I'm just saying that I see it way too often. And there'll be like nothing but hate-filled posts with political agenda, whether it's towards left or towards right. There's zero love. It's just hate. Like, depose, dethrone, kill, this, that, this person an ass, this person is an idiot, out of the office. I'm like, wow. Realize that at least half of the audience that are going to meet you will have different point of view. And on the top of that, I'm like, so you're a political consultant. Well, no, I'm a relationship coach. Well, why is it that the first 50 posts on your Facebook page have to do with politics, right? Be congruent. So when you talk about meeting Mr. Right, every day on your page, you should have 1 or 2 posts, or at least once or twice a week, and nothing in between should be about helping people with that. All right, enough about that. Catherine, that's both, right? So your business page should, I think according to terms of use for Facebook, you can't do business of your personal profile. So you shouldn't be like overtly promoting, right? You can't advertise on the personal profile. You can only do it on a business page. But still, people will click to your personal profile. When they friend you or you friend them, they look at your personal profile. So if your personal profile should be a mix between, personal stuff, what do you do for fun, and so on, kind of what makes you, but it's got to be fun and politics, religion, and again, I love pets. Pets, we Americans go crazy about pets, right? But again, if you're a business consultant and all I see is, 50 posts of funny cat videos, I'm like, I don't care how much I love cats. In fact, maybe I love dogs more. I just became turned off. I moved somewhere else. And I kind of go like, I either don't friend you, don't accept your friend request, or just categorize you as a crazy cat person, a wacky dog person, and I don't like animals. It's like, whatever. Anyway, I'm simplifying this whole thing, but all right. Perfecto mundo. We are done. Look, I appreciate you. So about 50% of you that dialed in are still hanging in 2 hours later. I've got to go. I've got to pack. We've got to hit the road. Party wild in San Diego. I'm not kidding, actually. We are going to 2 parties, one today, one tomorrow. All business related, by the way, so I'll behave. Thank you, ladies and gents. I would love on a little exit salva of hearts and likes. All right. If you found this valuable, just give me some hearts, give me some likes, give me some wows, give me something. I can always count. Give me some smiley faces. I appreciate all of that. And up until next time, some of you will chat personally. Some of you, I'll see you in a Facebook group in the next training. And until our paths cross again, listen, take one idea from today, implement it, go out there, make more money for yourself, and impact more people. All right? Until next time, here's to your success, everyone. Cheers.